Hey guys, Ben here with 9 to 5 Google, and today we'll be taking a look at the Sony Xperia X. Let's go ahead and get started. So starting off with the hardware, the Xperia X is using a design language not dissimilar to that of the Xperia Z lineup. This time around, however, the backplate of the phone is made out of metal and it looks great. However, it does feel a bit more plastic than anything else. Now the hardware is definitely nice, but I wouldn't call it outstanding. Flipping over the phone, you'll get a look at the 5-inch 1080p display, which is very good to say the least. Colors are accurate, viewing angles are great, and the brightness is solid even for outdoor use. Personally, I'm a fan of larger displays, but it is certainly refreshing to see a device of this size that doesn't sacrifice anything to stay small. Under the hood on the Xperia X, you'll also find a Snapdragon 650 chipset, 3GB of RAM, and 32GB of storage with a micro SD card slot for expandability. Now overall, this provides a great experience with day-to-day performance, giving me no trouble whatsoever, and even more intensive tasks do just fine. Now casual gaming also does fine, although 3D games will likely have a little bit of trouble with the mid-range processor. Sony's software on the X is also solid. This latest version of their software is even closer to stock Android and it looks and works great. There's really not much to complain about except perhaps the launcher, which has a few interesting quirks, but overall it's a pretty solid experience. Now battery life on the Xperia X is also very good. With a 2620 mAh battery under the hood, you shouldn't expect much, but I was easily able to make it through most days with no problems at all. Now you can find more details on battery life in our written review over on 9to5google.com. Around the rear, you'll also find a 23 megapixel camera, which is okay. It's nothing too special, and it is certainly capable of taking great pictures, but it requires some software tricks to reliably get good shots. Sadly, those tricks require limiting the camera to just 8 megapixels. Now you can find full-size samples in our written review as well, but overall, this isn't the greatest camera, but it gets the job done. Now looking at what we've discussed so far, it's no doubt that the Xperia X is actually a really good phone, but taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture, we see the real issues. The Xperia X is not a flagship, it's a mid-range phone. However, Sony doesn't quite see it like that, pricing the Xperia X at a whopping $550 here in the US. Now if this device kept the water-resistant build of past Xperia devices or brought a fingerprint sensor, which by the way our US unit does not have, then I could see it maybe being a good deal at about $400 or so. However, it doesn't include these, and because of that, the Xperia X is just painfully overpriced. Smartphones are cheap now, and Sony needs to get on board with that. So that'll go ahead and do it for this video. If you're interested in learning more about the Xperia X, check out our written post for more information. A link is found in the description. Once again, I'm Ben with 9to5Google at NexusBen on Twitter, and I'll catch you in the next one.